space where real conversations are happening, and you are a part of the conversation. Hit that alarm bell so each time a video comes up, you can be informed and you can be a part of it. Thank you to those sponsoring partners, and also a big thank you to the Cleaning Advantage. Get your quote today for any office, daycare, or apartment building. We are here to assist. Thank you, Cleaning. Happy Wednesday. It's your girl, Tiffany S. Carter with Tiffany Talks. And guess what? Where real conversations are happening and you are absolutely a part of the conversation. But tonight, I am so happy, not only to announce that if you missed the last podcast, you need to go back on there and see, because these women, phenomenal authors, but not only are they authors, they are #1 international best-selling authors. So first of all, congratulations there. And I'm so honored to be a part of these authors and get this amazing title. But tonight, it's so many stories, because you're asking what make them a best-selling author. Well, it's their stories, of course. These ladies have been forged by fire. Fire, what kind of fire? They have been refined by the refiner. And before I get started, if you haven't liked this video, go to YouTube, like my channel at Tiffany Talks. And again, we want you to be a part of the conversation. If you have a business, if you have something amazing you're doing in the community, come holler at me, DM me and say, Tiffany, they're doing something amazing. You should interview them. And I'll be glad to do it. But tonight, without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage, we're going to have tonight, let's see our lineup. First, we have Ketrice Keys, who's now a 4-time best-selling author. Also, she's the visionary behind this awesome and phenomenal project. Then we have Miss Telleice Caraway as a contributing author as well. Then we have Miss Rashonda Thornton, and then we have Miss Sharnwanika Pittman. These ladies are so excited, and Miss Monica Winston. And so if these ladies are coming tonight, they're going to share you their story, what made them forged by fire. And this is absolutely a video you would love to share. So go on and share those buttons, because guess what? Sharing is caring. But without further ado, I'm bringing forth the visionary of this project so we can learn where Miss Ketrice Keys come from and she can be introduced. She's not new to me, but she might be new to you. But guess what? This lady is on fire. Let me bring Miss Keys on up. Hi, Miss Ketrice.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing on this lovely Working Women Wednesday, may I say?
Girl, I'm doing good on this Working Women's Wednesday. I'm doing good. Yes.
So, I know some things have changed since our last conversation, and you are the visionary behind this project. So, can you just please tell me what made you pick a title like Forward? Tell us where you're from. Tell us a little about yourself first before we go into the book.
Well, first of all, I'm from originally a little town in Mississippi known as Tylertown, Mississippi. I currently reside in Bassfield, Mississippi. I am a wife. My husband's pastor of a church here in Mississippi. I'm a mother of 3 children, and I'm a grandmother. Well, I don't let them call me grandmother, Tiffany. They call me Yaya. A Yaya of 2 twin boys. And I up until June of last year, I was a registered nurse for the past 20 years. And I decided to, God told me to, I didn't decide to. God said it was time for me to put that career to rest and launch out into full-time entrepreneurship. And so that's what I've been doing. Since June of last year, I've launched 2 businesses. One is Ketrice Keys Enterprises, which incorporates me being a life coach, evangelist, empowerment speaker, author. And then I have K Majestic Couture, which is an online clothing boutique. And of course, my podcast that I launched last year as well, Spitting Fire with Ketrice. So that's basically who I am. I love empowering women to discover what their God-given purpose is. And I just love being a servant of God and just leading people to know and understand that we all have a purpose, and nobody is down here in the earth realm to just ramble around and just, with no cause. We all have a purpose. And I I just love helping guide people into finding out what their God ordained purpose is. So that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, when you think about this book, Forged by Fire, where did you get that title from?
It's funny you ask, Tiffany. I was in the clinic setting with one of my patients before I quit my job, and she was just telling me some things that was going on in her life, and she was just saying that she didn't know how much more she could take, and if she had to, if God put anything else on her, she just felt like she would break at the time. And I just was, doing what I do, encouraging her that yes, you can stand it, and if God puts it on you, you're gonna make it because you're built God tough. And so when
Right.
I said that, it just kind of resonated with me. And I said, wait a minute, that sounds like something. So I grabbed my notebook because I keep something to jot stuff down. And I wrote it down. And I didn't pay any more attention to that. That had to be like almost 3 years ago now. And
Mm-hmm.
so round about November of last year, Dawn Leak was, which she was my coach for a while, but I've been in 2 anthologies with her as visionary. She's a visionary of the 2 anthologies. And she was asking me, when are you going to launch your anthology? And I was like, I'm not going to do it. And so she was like, it's time. You need to, try to come up with whatever it is that, God is placing on you to do. So I said, okay, God, if you want me to launch this anthology, then you're going to have to give me a title. You're going to have to order my steps. I mean, specific directions as to how to do this thing. And he told me, he
Mm-hmm.
said, go grab your notebook. And so I got my notebook and I just started flipping through it. And I came up on Built God Tough. And he said, that's the title of your anthology. And then he started ministering to me, and he was just talking about, to be built God tough, you have to go through the refiner's fire. And then he just kept talking, and he ended up giving me the forerunner of that, which was Forged by Fire, Built God Tough. So he just laid it all out for me, and that's where the title come from. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I had to work with, Tiffany.
That's amazing because, the title itself, it says a lot, and the stories behind it. If you have not purchased this book, I suggest whoever on this, you're supporting on this screen, you need to reach out to them, ask them how to purchase this book because it's some phenomenal stories in this book. Also, when you think about how was this anthology was different from any other one?
Whew, Tiffany, this anthology has been totally different from anything that I've ever experienced, simply because I don't know if it was because I'm the visionary, but I just told God I didn't want to mishandle what he's giving me. And I wanted
Mm-hmm.
it to be something that was going to be transformative, not only for the people that were going to be reading these stories, but also for the people who were contributing the stories. Because
Right.
more oftentimes than not, when people, tell their stories, it's kind of like, well, I've told my story, I got this book, and that's just it. But
Right.
God took me through a process of ministering to the contributing authors in this book on a one-on-one basis so many times. And so much transformation took place even before the book was released in my life as well as the author's life. So this anthology has been a forging of sisterhood, a forging of
Mm-hmm.
lifelong relationships that were divinely ordained by God. That's what makes the difference. When something is divinely ordained by God, there's just a whole gamut of things that come with that usually don't come with other projects if the person doesn't let God lead and guide them. Now, we all know that people will say, and let's just be real, people will put God in
Mm-hmm.
everything. People will
Right.
always say, God told me this and God told me
Right.
that. But when God literally tells you and you follow his direction step by step, it manifests. The
Right.
God's hand manifests that thing, and then you can really tell if this project was God ordained or not.
Right.
So when you handle it that way, um Lives are transformed before the book even releases. And then I can say too that I did a live to speak to the authors about being number one best-selling authors. And what I said was what God said to me. He said that you guys are already number one in my eyes because you were
Right.
obedient to the call, because you yielded to my voice. You are already number one. And so when I passed that message along to the co-authors, they were like, yes, we're already number one. And it was like settled in our spirits that we were already number one in God's eyes. And so after after he said that, to me, it was like, who better to tell you that you're number one than God, than your
That's
creator?
right.
And so we were good with that. And so I believe, well, the word says, when you seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, then he adds all that other unto you. And so, of course, you know that we launched the book June 1st at 10 o'clock a.m.
Mhm.
And at 10:05, Tiffany, we were already bestsellers. So to me, that's just God adding
Yes.
to us what he had
Mhm.
already substantiated because we were obedient to his voice. We were already bestsellers 5 minutes out the gate. Who can do such a thing but
God.
God?
Right.
Nobody but God. So
Nobody.
that's what has been different for me, is watching the hand of God maneuver and give us exactly what it is that we were praying for and asking for in the beginning.
And yes, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, like Robin Goff said, First Lady White said, God told me to slap you. God told me your money, my money. A lot. Carry on.
Come
Yeah.
on.
And so, I love these affirmations. When what I'm realizing is the more you hang around women who believe the affirmations for themselves, not for
Right.
you,
Yeah.
not for you, for
That's right.
themselves, it's
That's
an
right.
overflow for you. And
Right.
then you might not believe all the way, but you start believing in yourself and you start. So what's the worst that can happen from a bunch of people that believe in themselves, but you believing in yourself? I
That's
just say,
right.
what's the worst, But
Exactly.
I thank you for being on this project. This was such an amazing experience for myself because I was going through ordeal and I feel like I still be going through. That's why my pen stay writing. You
Come
understand?
on.
I'm just gonna
Uh-huh.
tell people how I overcame.
Right.
But I thank you so much for your vision, and we're definitely going to talk to you again before this show ends. Thank you,
Yes,
Ketrice
ma'am.
Keys, and
Thank
anything
you.
else that you want to say before we move on to Miss Telleice
No,
Caraway.
ma'am. Bring the ladies out.
Look, and First Lady White said, "Man, I believe in myself, but more, I believe in y'all." That's
Amen. That's good right
thank
there.
you. Okay, so thank you. So you've already heard the visionary of this project, and you see where we're going with this, right? The pathway is on fire. The trail is on fire. But what's so amazing about, I feel like, about an anthology is it's not just about one person's story that made us all, just one person became bestseller. It was all our stories combined. Because who goes to a tree and look for one leaf? Who goes to a tree and look for one fruit? This tree that we have over here, it bears a lot of fruit. There's a fruit for you. There's a fruit for you. And if you want it and you feel like you deserve it, there's fruit for everybody. But see, I just believe in some things. When you attach to the fire, you want to get burnt by some fires, not all fires, but you want to be burnt by the refiner. And with that, without further ado, let me see. Let me go. And I forgot to put her good old picture up here. Look at Miss Keys. Hold on 1 second. First of all, I come to fight fire with fire. I'm with that all day. Give me the keys to the fire to fire. I'm gonna fight fire with fire. If you come for me, you better understand. And see, she just you heard me. Y'all be putting me up. She just understand because I've been through some stuff today, and I just was like, I'm fighting fire with fire. You better understand who protects me. When you come against God's children, I ain't saying that you ain't a child of God, but you better recollect your mind and realize, am I ready for this fight? Because we over here fighting fire with fire. Okay, go on, Miss Keys. There you go. There y'all go right there. Mm-hmm. There we go right there. Okay. So next, without further ado, let me see who this next up. Miss Telleice Caraway. Strength is admitting when you are weak, when trusting God to be strong. Tonight, I present on Tiffany Talks for the very first time is Telleice Caraway. Please tell us where you're from and then to elaborate what your chapter is about and what your contribution to this book. So, where are you from, Miss Telleice?
Hello, Tiffany. I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Okay.
My chapter is about taking care of a spouse that was sick. I say was because I'm standing on that. My husband had a history of seizures for a long time, and somewhere between that, I had got so used to the seizures, I guess, used to the phone calls to come home from work, and this particular day was different. When he had this last seizure, it caused him to have a neck break, 2 places in his neck. And I believe that was the part where I felt like I had to put all the weight on my shoulders, forgot just about all my scripture, to lay it at God's feet. And I just felt like I had to carry it and I had to be strong for he and I. But what I did also forget was the prayers that I prayed for my husband. I had to step back and realize I had prayed for him to become closer to God in his relationship with him. And so during my breaking down time, God really revealed a lot to me. He reminded me of those prayers and he said, I am doing that, but I need you to relinquish your control. And let him see me. And so doing that, it was ugly because it showed me. I had to, I couldn't call everybody, and it's not from pride. I had so many people who don't believe what I was professing. I was only saying what the Lord said. He said by his stripes, my husband was already healed. So I had some family members and some people just like, he had another seizure. Well, how is he doing? But it was not from a sincere place. It's like, I thought you said he was healed. And so that was kind of hard to go to those people for help. So the Lord sent people like Miss Keys, the visionary, and some other sisters in Christ to actually pour into me and remind me of what the word says and what God says. And going through that fire, it burnt off fear from me. It burnt off the control. And whenever the seizures would try to text him while his neck was broke, I would rush in with a different kind of prayer life. It's like my faith was just so on fire. And I could say, and it's so funny because it's like I was having an out of body experience. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, girl, you, and I'm like, I don't care what it looked like. By his stripes, you are already healed. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So I went through getting the word in me until it really becoming relevant to me. It was real, not just on the words, not being cliche anymore. So that's my portion of the story, but also getting into it. I want someone to be encouraged. I got so much feedback from having to take care of a parent or sibling, but I want those people to know that God is with us. He said, lo, he will be with us. So he's in the fire with us, and we will not come out looking or smelling like smoke.
That's right. That's right. So please, what's the name of your chapter?
It's called Through Sickness and Health.
Through Sickness and Health. And please tell them how to follow you and where to follow you at.
Okay, you can follow me on all my social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at Telleice Caraway. Just simply my name, Telleice Caraway. And you can reach me by my email, which is telleice@gmail.com. Telleice@gmail.com.
That's an amazing story. And I'm so happy that you are able and here to tell the story. Hold on 1 second. All right. I had to mute someone out. Oh, who's with that? Okay. So thank you so much for coming on this platform and sharing your story. And I'm looking forward to, can you hear that?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to reading your chapter, and I hope so many other people. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry, guys, for that technical interruption. Okay, so for our next person, let's see. We're going to have Miss Rashonda Thornton. Miss Rashonda would definitely tell us more about herself, where she's at, where she's coming from, where she's from, and what was her chapter consistent of, and why she said yes to this project. Hi, Miss Rashonda.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm great today. Well, I'm
So,
sorry.
so where are you from? Tell us a little bit about Rashonda.
I am from Northeast Georgia. I don't want to get into the specifics because of the work that I do. So I'm from Northeast Georgia. I'm a mother of 6. 3 are biological, and the other 3 are my bonus children. I'm also a behavioral health counselor, in which I work in a female's facility or prison, and I do that Monday through Friday, and I'm helping them to reduce their recidivism by doing individual and group counseling sessions. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're already out here making a difference, obviously. And so could you just tell us what's the title of your chapter, and what is your chapter about?
My chapter is called Trusting the Refiner's Process to Deliver My Promise. My chapter was pretty much about how I went through a season in my life. Back in 2019, I went through a divorce, and it pretty much talked about how the impact of the divorce and the effect that it had on me, and how I tried to take over. And when God had told me back in October of 2019 that he was going to restore the marriage, I assumed he was talking about the marriage with my ex-husband, but I wasn't talking about that. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to restore that marriage. So I'm trying to do everything to make sure that I'm helping God to restore that marriage, or to find the husband that God had for me. And it talked about all the struggles that I went through as a first-year teacher, being anxiety driven, stricken, and depressed, being sick, going from the classroom to the bathroom to cry, coming right back out, teaching, and that was like for months straight. And also my story also talks about how I just had a lot of rendezvous and just being careless, with depression. Risky behavior is one of the signs and symptoms, which I wasn't aware at the time, but after researching, the risky behavior of being promiscuous was one of the symptoms, and that's what I went through. And I got myself entangled in a lot of different relationships, and just being entangled and trying to get out of it. And it was when I finally let go and said, all right, God, I can't do this anymore. You got to find my husband for me and send him to me, because I can't do it. And when I let go, that promise that God was going to bring me my spouse, he did just that. So it was when I let go and relinquished all control. He was able to restore the marriage, but it was a new one, and it was God's best for me. So that's pretty much what my chapter is about, being restored.
That's right. And what's the name of your chapter?
Trusting the Refiner's Process to Deliver My Promise.
Okay, again, trusting, Miss Ketrice put it right there. Trusting the Refiner's Process to Deliver My Promise. Well, thank you so much for this interview, and I hope you sell so many that you can. It's just an overflow, but please tell people how to follow you and where they can follow you at, those that are watching you.
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and my name is just my first and last name, which is Rashonda Thornton. And also you can email me at rashonda.thornton@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. And Miss Ketrice says when she let go, God could do what he said he would do. God doesn't need our help. God had a plan. Miss Erica Warren out there says the depression demon will have you out of care. Oh, yes, it
Yes, it
will.
will.
You don't know what be going on. You
I
don't know
didn't recognize myself at
here,
all.
okay? The devil playing for keeps, honey. He wants you to lose your identity.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Miss Rashonda. And thank you for coming on Tiffany Talks. And please, everybody, please go and read her title of her book is, let me go back up here. I hate Trusting the Refiner's Process to Deliver My Process. All right. That's right. Thank you, Rashonda.
Thank you.
If you're just tuning in to Tiffany Talks, we've already talked to visionary Ketrice Keys of this amazing international best-selling book, might I ask, and she's the visionary. And also we talked to Telleice Caraway, and we also have talked to we just finished talking to Rashonda Thornton. And let me just show you what her picture said. Let me see. God will compensate, vindicate, and restore you to where you'll never, ever be put to shame again. Absolutely. I definitely believe that. Now, next up, and if you've been enjoying Tiffany Talks, you can go on and heart that. You can go on and like it. You can go on and share it. If you feel like somebody can use this video, sharing is caring. And before I keep going, let us do a short intermission so our sponsoring partners can know that we appreciate them. And if you have a business that you want to put on Tiffany Talks, please do that. Please DM me. And if you know somebody amazing, thank you to those who've already subscribed to Tiffany Talks, where real conversations are happening and you are a part of the conversation. Hit that alarm bell so each time a video comes up, you can be informed and you can be a part of it. Thank you to those sponsoring partners, and also a big thank you to the Cleaning Advantage. Get your quote today for any office, daycare, or apartment building. We are here to assist. Thank you, Cleaning. Thank you to all my sponsoring partners out there, those that are silent and those that are actually giving to the brand of Tiffany Talks. Without you, we wouldn't be moving the way we are, and we just say thank you. Now, moving on to the next queen. Let's see where we're at. Y'all saw sharing is caring. All right, now. We're going to go to Miss Monica Winston. And let me see what Miss Monica Winston is talking. Hi, Miss Monica. How are you? Oh. Unmute your mic. We'll come back to her. It says your mic not connected. Let me see. Hold on a second. Can I hear you?
Hello.
For technical difficulties, her phone and her video keeps it keeps freezing up. So I'll move on to Miss Sharnwanika Pittman. Sharnika, can you hear me?
Hey, honey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And so, I know you have something to talk about because, first of all, let me go back to what it said. Maybe it was my past sins coming from me. All I could feel was fire. I was burning up. Where are you from first?
Well, I'm from Tylertown, Mississippi, but I live in Hammond, Louisiana now.
Hammond. So tell us a little about yourself.
Honey,
Tell us who you are.
I'm me. I am. I'm a band director, choir director, theater director, fine arts teacher, heat press T-shirt designer, sweet maker. You name it. I'm doing it. But at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't be able to do none of that if it wouldn't be God.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely. So thank you so much for coming on Tiffany Talks to tell us about your chapter in this amazing project. And please just tell us the title of your chapter.
Of my chapter made me fertile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you explain us what you wrote about that? The fire made me fertile.
One thing about like in my life, I've been through so many, and every time it's one of those situations where I know it was nobody but God that actually came here, because it was always one of those situations where I would have to have surgery and during the operation, while they're operating on me, or either when they said, okay, we're supposed to, we're done with the surgery now, reason, and I don't. But this particular was about having ovarian and uterine cancer. And so when I found out that I had ovarian and uterine cancer, the doctor told me, depending on how far the cancer had, I wouldn't be able to have children. And it did something to me because, of course, here it was, I was 30, 31 years old, and I don't even have kids. And what woman don't want to have kids? So I just really felt like that was taken away from me. And so going through the whole issue and everything that I was going through, it really took God to turn that thing around for me, because when here it is, you feel like everything and you can't get it. I was mad with him. Like, I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. If you want to heal me and you want to deliver me, if you would have never given me this issue, hey, I need for you to heal me. And I know.
I think we may have lost her. I'm not sure. There's technical difficulties. So well, without further ado, I think we may have lost her. Hopefully she'll put in the comments. Without further ado, I'll have Miss Ketrice Keys, and I'll bring Miss Ketrice Keys back to the forefront so that we can close out this section of Tiffany Talks. I'm not sure what happened. I think she went through technical difficulties, but she can put in her comments where you can follow her at, and hopefully I can have her back on to tell more elaborate story, because she has a phenomenal story. And here she goes right there.
Back.
Sharnika? I think it's freezing up. Well, without further ado, just tell them, Miss Ketrice Keys, where they can follow you at and how they can get in contact with you, and just close us out for this session of Forged by Fire Part 2, and then there will be a Part 3.
So For the listeners, if you want to follow me or get in contact with me, the easiest way to do that is through my website, KetriceKeys.com. So again, the easiest way to get in touch with me is through my website, KetriceKeys.com. Tiffany, I've enjoyed this segment, even though we have had technical difficulties.
That's
We know
okay.
these things are man-made and these things happen.
Right.
It is what it is, but God still gets all the glory.
That's absolutely right. And I'm still just as excited as I was when I started. I just know I'm more direct and purpose. Thank you so much. And like Rashonda said, the enemy don't want us to speak. Yeah, well, that was he too late on that part. You're a little late. You just showed up a little late now.
Come on, you showed up a little too late.
Robin Goss said we built for it. So, well, thank you so much, ladies, and thank you for coming on this platform. And good night to Ketrice Keys. Thank you again for being a part of this amazing project. Well, you see, we built Forged by Fire, built God tough. That means something. That means something to me. I don't know if it means something to you, but this book wasn't just for us. It's for you too. If you've had something that you've been through and you know you've been forged by fire, you don't just wake up in the morning and you're complaining, but you're on fire because you know the refiner has refined your life and you're a diamond in the rough, because the pressure will be applied, but it's not about the pressure. Miss Telleice Caraway said it's not about the fire, because you will not smell like smoke. And Miss Rashonda said, I'm not worried about any of those things. I'm going to continue to tell my story. And you didn't hear my songbird, Sharnwanika, all the way. But guess what? I know she's always got a song in her heart. And just because she says she's not infertile, she's been fertile with her fire. And she has plenty of kids out here. And then I'm sorry that you didn't get to hear so much of Miss Monica Winston, but I'm going to bring these folks back again so they can really tell their story. But on this Tiffany Talks, I thank you so much to everybody that listening. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And again, this is where real conversations happen, and you are absolutely a part of the conversation. This has been your girl, Tiffany S. Carter, and this has been another Real Conversations with Tiffany. Oh, you know what it is. Hashtag Tiffany Talks, and you can go on and hashtag that Forged by Fire too, honey, because the race isn't given to the swift nor to the strong, but I'm one of them ones that will endure until the end, because y'all already know I ain't moving. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to keep talking my talk on Tiffany Talks. Real Conversations. Come on and get a part of it. Thank you to those who've already subscribed to Tiffany Talks, where real conversations are happening and you are a part of the conversation. Hit that alarm bell so each time a video comes up, you can be informed and you can be a part of it. Thank you to those sponsoring partners, and also a big thank you to the Cleaning Advantage. Get your quote today for any office, daycare, or apartment building. We are here to assist. Thank you, Cleaning